let's talk about coaching a little bit more. Now that we understand that it requires investing in order to be a good coach. Leadership coaching is a great way to invest into the future of people. In fact, like I said before, if you're in a leadership role in the service industry, coaching is the thing that will take you to the next level. Coaching is just one tool in your toolbox that you can use to help other people and help yourself, so that you can sow something great now and you and other people can reap something better down the road. All right, so what does coaching do? What does coaching do? So coaching brings self-awareness and social awareness. Okay, there's a big misunderstanding of what coaching is in the world. Some people think that coaching is the same as mentoring, where you're going to just support somebody, and there's a little bit of truth to that. Some people believe that coaching someone is telling them what to do. Anybody ever thought that? Coach is to tell somebody what to do. You think about maybe an athletic team, a sports team. Doesn't the coach tell the other people what to do? Hey, choke up on the bat, spread your legs a little bit further or whatever. And so that's an idea that people have about coaching. Solving problems for people, that's an idea too that people have about coaching. So you're sitting down, you've hired this professional life coach, and they're going to help solve all my problems for me. That's not true. In fact, it's just the opposite of that. Leadership coaches, they don't solve problems for anybody. See, what we're interested in as a coach is personal development on the other side. So when I'm coaching somebody, if I'm coaching Brooke, I'm interested in her growing and becoming better. My interest is in her solving her own problems and becoming better at solving her own problems. And so this is part of it, bringing self-awareness and social awareness. So if I'm coaching somebody, part of my job is to help them become self-aware. A lot of people are not self-aware. Okay, a lot of people really struggle with being self-aware. So I've used this example before. Sometimes there's a person that might be in your company that wants to, they want to get a raise, or they want to get a promotion. I've had people come to me and say, Joel, I'm ready to be a general manager. I want to be a general manager. I've been an assistant for 8 months now, and I'm ready to be a GM. And in their mind, they truly believe that they should be a general manager. But if I go and I ask everyone that works with them, and they say, no way, they're not ready to be a general manager, there's a disconnect, right? And sometimes when we're not self-aware, we don't see what everyone else sees. And so a coach can help bring self-awareness. Okay. What a coach doesn't do is tell them, no, you're wrong. You're not ready to be a general manager. And no one else thinks so either. That wouldn't be a good coach. But what I might do as a coach is I might say, well, why do you say that? Why do you think that? And then hear what they have to say. And that might be followed up by another question. And then another question. And then I might ask a question. Well, hey, what do your people think of you? What are the people that work under you? What would they say if I asked them? And now you're challenging them to think beyond their own opinion to what other people's opinions are. And then they might say, well, I do have a few people that aren't crazy about me. Okay, well, tell me why. And so you can get beyond the initial thought by asking a lot of questions. So you're kind of going in the back door. You're trying to get them to come to their own conclusions about the truth, about reality. Make sense? So it's kind of interesting. So coaching also helps to clarify what's most important. One great question for coaching is, what do you want? So imagine this: you're coaching somebody. Maybe it's somebody that works for you, or somebody that maybe works in a different store or a different department, and you're coaching them. And you want to help them grow. The first thing you need to know is, what do they want to grow into? What do they want? What's their desire? Because that's what you need to help them become. You don't decide what you think that they should become and tell them. You find out what they want. What do you want? That question comes in a lot of different forms. You might say, what do you want in the next 5 years? Or what do you want your eulogy to be at your funeral? What do you want your legacy to be? Those are questions that get people to think about the future, to find out what they want. Because everybody wants something different. So when you find those things out, now you know how to help move people towards that direction. And we can do this with our employees. Everybody needs coaching. Nobody's exempt. And everybody can coach to some degree. It doesn't matter what level you're at. Everybody needs a coach. I'll tell you. And that's true. I firmly believe that. I don't believe anybody can get out of their own box without help, without somebody reaching down, giving you a hand and pulling you out of your own box. I think we all need help in that way. We have a lot of people in our companies that need somebody that can coach and help them get to another place. And we don't have an abundance of great coaches out there that are just, busting at the seams to get out and do it. So there's a gap, there's a need for this. And that's why we're doing this training, because everybody here can be part of that. There are different levels of natural gifting when it comes to coaching. Some people, it comes a little bit more natural to, and some people it's a little bit more difficult for. But the truth is everybody can get better at it. No matter who you are, you can get better at it. And the better you get at it, the more you become an investor, the better you get at it, the more opportunities you're going to have no matter what you do going forward. And it's also a skill that doesn't diminish. Once you learn the skill, it doesn't ever go away. You keep it and it will always be with you and you can use it. So, a coach also helps to examine options and solutions. So a coach doesn't solve problems, but a coach might help somebody talk through all of their options. It's one of the questions that I ask my managers that I coach all the time. I mean, you guys know, right? What are your options? What can you do? What do you have control over and what do you not have control over? And oftentimes when I find out what somebody doesn't have control over, don't focus on what you don't have control over. Focus on what you do have control over. What can you do and what are your options? I don't give them to them. I'll ask that question. And that's a great way to get people to think outside the box. We all need that. I don't think outside the box unless somebody gets me to think outside the box. I do it better than I used to, but that's what a coach can do, is help us to consider our options so that we can systematically make decisions ourselves. Coaches also helps to remove obstacles and fear. A lot of times we can't move forward because there's something that we're afraid of that's keeping us stuck. And it can be just about anything. Anybody have any examples of something that you're afraid of that keeps you from growing in a certain area?
I'm afraid of confrontation.
Okay, that's a great one. Yep. And you're not alone. There's a lot of people that are afraid of confrontation. Yep. Sometimes we have to get past our fears, but it's a whole lot easier to get past a fear when you've got somebody right there next to you helping you do it. And a coach isn't going to push you out of the plane, but they're going to help you remove the obstacles so you'll jump out of the plane on your own, if that's what you want to do, jump out of planes. And so removing obstacles, sometimes it's simply asking a question like, well, what's the worst that can happen? Or why are you afraid of that? Or did something happen in your past that was a bad experience and now you fear that this is going to reproduce itself again in the future? You can ask those kind of questions, and when people can become face to face with their fears, and they can see their fears objectively instead of subjectively, then they can work to move past those fears. That's really important, and it's just hard for any human being to really get past those things unless somebody can help. Sometimes we try to just dig our way out of things on our own, and we just keep falling back into the same pit and doing the same thing over and over because we don't have somebody that can, or maybe the people that we are getting advice from, they don't know how to coach. They just agree with everything you say. They're just your cheerleader. You could be going down the wrong path and they're like, yeah, keep going, because they don't know. That's why it takes somebody else that can help. So coaches also provide a clear path to navigate. So once you work through things, sometimes it's time to land the plane. Sometimes it's time to make a plan and start following it and get to where you need to be. Okay, and so coaches can do that, help with a clear plan. Anybody had a clear plan of action in their workplace that somebody's helped them get to, that they know, now I know the steps that I need to work on over the next month, right? Without that, it's tough. It's really tough to do that on your own. So coaches can help do that. And when I'm talking about coaches, I'm not talking about a professional certified coach. I'm talking about anybody that's in a leadership role can do this.